今日のあやめはとても綺麗ですから、ぜひ彼女を見てほしいです。
Hello? Can anyone hear me? Mic check. Welcome back to the stream, Steffi. Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Hello Cherry, welcome back. Welcome to my re-debut. Today I'm no longer Windstrider. I'm going to be Selena Windstrider. With my new model debut. Do you like it? I wasn't sure what everyone would think about it. Here we go. I'm very nervous about this. Very cringy. Yes, thank you for welcome to my re-debut today. As you can see, we're starting with Punishing Grey Raven. With Selena, that's me. I can't say that's me because I don't want to get in trouble with copyright. But maybe you can see the similarities. I also have purple eyes, so that kind of works. Okay, we're starting out. Selena, that's me.
今日のあやめはとても綺麗ですから、ぜひ彼女を見てほしいです。
I can't say that line because I don't know Japanese very well. But I'm going to be reading the interlude story today of Selena Capriccio, this new patch of Rectitativo di Fantasia. let's visit the dorm first. Normally I have head pats for Lucia, but not today. Only for Selena. She's probably hanging out in the garden with her best friend Ayla. There! I thought about it for a long time and decided to give it to you. It's not a precious thing, but I hope you like it. Well, here, head pats. Oh, look at that. Oh, so cute. Okay, we have 3 of them. Let's go. Oh. And of course, best friend Ayla. Ayla deserves all the pats in the world too. 3 sets of head pats. For always being by my side. And the last one for me. I don't have the newest unit yet, Selena Capriccio. So Tempest will have to do. Here's another. Oh, no. Too much. Too much. No more head pats. No. What? No? Here, I can pat myself. Oh. I'm such a good girl today. So, we are... Let's save dailies. Oh, it's before reset, so... It's time to go straight into the interlude. Selena's story quest. This is Selena from the past. You can see she's younger, and she hasn't become a construct yet. She still has brown hair and a human body. Not like the new Selena. This one. Coating. As you can see, she has a skeleton. Her skeleton's popping out with the horrible tragedies that have happened to me. Yes, this is my debut today as my new identity, Selena. No one cares about Windstrider, so I'm going to be Selena from now on. Please look forward to it. Okay, let's get into the interlude. Maybe if I have some time, I can do the old one too. The shepherd, for she hears audience's innocent call, and she hears the performer's tender reply. What's this? Letter to me? Dear Selena, what will you be doing when you receive this letter? This is my first time writing you a letter. Fine. This is also my first time writing a letter. I reckon this is the only way I can share my thoughts with you now. I've been planning to write a story recently. A play. Perhaps you'll be surprised when you read the script. Maybe you'll laugh. I'm a novice when it comes to theater, after all, and the story is suitably amateurish. But you'll get yourself involved after you've done laughing, won't you? You'll mentor me and offer suggestions. Wouldn't that be great? I have a photo with me as I'm writing this. An image of an opera house down there on the surface. You said you had always wanted to visit it since you saw a photo of it when you were young. Of course, you wouldn't just be there for the opera house. It's located near evacuation site 184 from the Great Evacuation. I have no idea where this is going. There are so many remnants of great artwork that you want to see. Now that I think about it, the opera house is probably abandoned without the resources and labor to maintain it. It is no longer as beautiful as its picture. Still, I can't help but wonder, if you passed by it on your journey, if you were there right now, what would you do? Tell me, Selena. That's me! If the Pantheon still existed today, it probably won't stand any more impressive than this. Giant chandelier, beautiful and extravagant, hangs from the magnificent dome, illuminating the famous mural above with refracted lights from multiple angles. No one knows if there are any discrepancies between that and the original. No one cares whether the details match the records for that matter. All it has to do is be there, just like the pillars carved with detailed scenes, and contribute to the opulence and grandeur of the building. Every inch of this place is indescribably ostentatious, and unfortunately, this is probably the last and dreamiest opera house left in the world. It's me, it's young Selena. You can recognize her by the purple eyes and the ribbon in her hair which is still brown. An opera house of this caliber is right here, sitting in an old evacuation site from the Great Evacuation. What is she doing on the surface, though? Right, that must be it. A light breeze slips through a gap in the cracked ceiling, gently moving a curtain hung on a beam. Sunlight sneaks in from a hole in the curtain, casting a spotlight on the stage, moving as the curtain shifts and sways until it lands on the girl who has been standing there for a while. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Stepping out from the sunlight, she gently skips across the gaps on the stage, stopping at the apron before taking half a step back. She slightly bends her knees and curtsies. The light from above illuminates the small letters embroidered on her dress. Flora. Flora is not me. Who's Flora? I don't remember. Summer's leaf hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot, the eye of heaven shines. And often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal slumber shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. This old English is really hard to read. I'm very sorry if I mess it up. Gomenasai. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching our show. Girl reads to an empty theater. After a while, she frowns and takes a small step back. No, you should be more earnest. Thank you for coming to this performance, my most esteemed guests. Right, that's more like it. Wow, what a beautiful smile. She spins, turning to face the audience again. With a small book in her hands, she raises it, looking solemn. Before the curtain rises, allow me to tell you a story. It's the story of a gentleman I knew. Scavenger he was, and a soldier too. Misery bound, unlike the Babylonians, a ticket to Eden was not his fate. I don't actually know who this girl is anymore. I don't think Selena has ever been to the surface. She was born and bred in Babylonia, a life of privilege. As a opera writer and a musician. It's too grim here. Only the fate of older Selena. But fortune smiled upon him, He fared better than most as a scavenger taken in by a conservation area. Please excuse me, I need some water. Taken in by a conservation area. Dew from the sky garden blessed the arid land with shelter sprouted, avoiding the wandering wight. Well, that was what he concluded. Didn't really understand the meaning of it. He was a lucky man regardless. Noticing that she has forgotten to maintain her expression during her mumbles, she rubs her cheeks and picks up the script again. His long time of roaming filled his ears with words of self-pity. The world owed him, and he thought how it only took from him, and not those living in the sky. He lived a life of more, if only others had less. Words of woe would not wither the warmth within him withal. What a tongue twister. He met Art, burning sun underneath which crops grew in the farms, grass thrived on the fields, and flowers flourished by the rivers. The shadow of pity dissipated as the sun shone him, melting his cold, cruel heart. Midst of the light is a flower that radiated the brightest. I forgot to ask, Sumimasen, how is the volume, everyone? Is the volume okay? If I need to make some adjustments, please let me know. Thank you. The shadow of pity dissipated as the sun shone upon him, melting his cold, cruel heart. Midst of its light is a flower that radiated the brightest. The story of a hero that flower told, about a man who sacrificed himself for his comrades. Contrite his soul not being, he blessed his parting friends on his dying breath. The flower and the sun warmed the wanderer's heart. Fire begot fire, and the next sun our scavenger vowed to be. What a glorious construct soldier he became. A mere first step, it was on the path to the flaming star. Seeds were planted on his way forward. His own story of the flower he saw, invigorated and retold by him. The last battle, fierce and deadly it was, saw the inevitable sacrifice of our marching soldier. Gone he may be, his tales of valor guide us still on the pilgrimage to art, and I stand among the pilgrims. No, I'm sure I was the first of them. The girl chokes up lightly before holding up the script again. A straightforward journey this has not been. Some were lost in sorrow from his passing. His wife, for instance, once passionate about the radiance of art, their husband and child. The lady of the house was no less talented, gifted with a voice that moves heaven. Blissful she looked in a duet with her love. Pain and misery remained in the poor woman's eyes whenever she came across a script after her husband parted. She spoke of his demise on the battlefield as harrowing and dreadful. The noble spirits in the stories paled in the face of death. Whispering those words, she looked hurt. I don't want to see Mom like that. It hurts me as well, just like Dad's death. Laura stopped speaking as the memories of losing a loved one hit her young and frail heart like lightning once again. Gentle and strong arms that could lift her and dance and are no more, lost in gunpowder and smoke. Oh, so tragic. Sorry, I dropped my control. Let me go back. She thought it would hurt less if she told the story from someone else's perspective. Still, she cannot help but cry when the story reaches her father's, and she craves the protection and warm hugs his arms once offered. There's no warmth in her tears. Daddy! My mom could hear weeping every night since Dad was gone. Those tears were mine. Every night you would hold me and comfort me. I do appreciate it. But I still hear weeping every night, even when I found a way to anchor my memories of him and learn to comfort others. Mom, you were the one crying. Only cried when I fell asleep. I wanted to get Dad back, so you'll stop feeling so hurt. No, I've already found him. He's always beside us. In these plays he wrote. Flora's fingers clutched the script in her hand. That's why I'm here, in the center of the art capital. Flora holds up her hands, showcasing the deserted theater to the darkness. This was one of the many evacuation points during the Great Evacuation. This place also held on to many wondrous relics of past civilizations. Bathed in their light, I will do my best to perform Dad's past deeds. The heroic tales that moved him, the songs we sang to our neighbors, the small props we made ourselves, they are all parts of the soul Dad has left behind. He said that sacrifices shouldn't just inflict pain, they should inspire bravery and invoke hope of the calm after the storm. If I can understand this hope, the spirit of his play, then maybe you'll understand, Mom, that Dad never left us. We can move forward with the hope he gifted us. With that, Flora curtsies once more. Then, please enjoy this performance, which is also a rehearsal, of course. The only response she gets is the breeze and the rattling rocks. A gust of wind blows past her clothes, revealing her arm behind the sleeve. It shows signs of infection from the punishing virus. Oh no, she's infected! Yes, this is Song of Flowers. Selena Capriccio story. We've been through this a long time ago. Starry Tales. That is the Selena Tempest story. It was one of the highlights of PGR. Definitely a very romantic story. Since we are here, I think it's time for me to... Shh. Let's continue. Excuse me. So let's continue the story. Song of Flowers interlude. Okay. Chapter 2. The little girl lost. So I don't know who this is anymore. New character, I believe. The lovely girl told she had wandered long hearing that performer's song. I think it's her writing a story to Selena, me. Because Selena was born an aristocrat. She led a life of privilege, sheltered from the horrors of war. And because of that, the experiences, she felt very naive and decided to see the greater world. For that reason, she became a construct. And there's a lot of spoilers in case you haven't played PGR. But a lot happens, and it's a very romantic, but also a very tragic story. Let's continue now. Dear Selena, are you resting from your tiring journey when you receive this letter? As I said, trying to write a play, it has proven to be more difficult than I imagined. It's a one-woman journey, a path laid with precursors' footsteps. It's been so difficult to take the right turn. To provoke the emotions I wanted, I even did something akin to an author and made a fool of myself. I've attached my foolish deeds. If you see this, you can laugh at my mishap as a dear friend could. I must admit that these laughs attest to my apprehension as a young creator Should I word it like that? Is the metaphor weird? These questions of uncertainty pop up every so often in the process. But the one thing that really shook me was a photo of you I just discovered when I was looking into the archives. It was a photo your mother took of you at the end of the premiere night of the Arcadia evacuation. You were smiling, but you were more unsettled than I am now. You were even panicking. What happened to you that day? What did you see? You were unnerved by your own work? Why was that? Tell me, Selena. For those who don't know, the Arcadia evacuation was the first opera that Selena wrote. It was based on the events in PGR before the beginning of the story, when the punishing virus broke out and the people escaped from the surface onto the space station Babylonia. Selena never lived through this event. She wrote an opera about it, about the heroism of humanity. But at the premiere of her opera, she met a man, a soldier. From her exchanges with him, she discovered how naive she was. And because of that, she was very troubled at the premiere of her opera. Okay, let us continue with the story. This is a record. Not something as official as a report, nor as private as a diary. They're just words. Like something you would say to a friend when you talked about your day. I wish to record my current situation in the form of letters. I'm currently at Conservation Area 184, near the old evacuation site during the Great Evacuation. As a member of the archaeological team, no, I myself have always wanted to visit this region. Now, taking advantage of an expedition mission from the WGAA, I have finally had an opportunity to visit this area after the red field subsided. Not just to study this place, but to commemorate a hero as well. Okay, so now we know that from this point of the story, this is after the red tide and after our encounter with Siren. Oh, Siren. Such painful memories. Definitely post-traumatic disorder kicking in. But the red field has subsided. This is set after that chapter. It was a really very touching story. Every time I hear it, my mind hurts. My heart is broken. I thought I would be singing an ode for the hero, or searching among the ruins outside the conservation area for the relics we couldn't bring back to Babylonia all those years ago. But here I am, finding myself before an unexpected audience.
What are you writing, miss?
Oh, it's me, Selena, finally. Oh, this? Selena's hand stops as the cursive word flowing out of her pen reaches the end of its last stroke. They're just records, like stories. Yes, keep going. What happened to the Prospero afterwards? Oh, of course. Afterward, Prospero. Yes, I'm enjoying telling stories to the children here. They were fairy tales in the beginning, and we've somehow moved on to plays now. What surprised me was how much the children have an innate understanding of stories, fairy tales or plays. They've more or less grasped the core emotions of them all. Perhaps all children have the capacity for art. They're like seeds waiting to be woken by spring. It might be arrogant of me to say this, but I hope the stories I told here will bring them a puff of spring breeze. I hope this breeze will reach all the corners of this earth. Just in case, is anyone watching mind spoilers from earlier PGR? I don't know exactly the correct order of playing this story, but this story definitely takes place after the Red Tide chapter, as well as after the original Selena and Interlude, or Selena Tempest. If someone minds, I don't have to go into so much backstory. Or if someone already knows the backstory, I can skip it too. Okay? It will just continue along as for now. Just like that, Prospero renounced magic and forgave his enemy, returning to his kingdom. Huh? But that's not right. Why would Prospero forgive his brother so easily?
Right? Antonio screwed him over. Why wouldn't he punish the bad guy?
Well, we'll have to start with the beginning of this character's arc. Right, an arc of a character is the gradual transformation of a character in the story. About that, perhaps I shouldn't explain it outright. You will need to think about it yourselves.
Huh? Why?
Well, stories don't come with correct answers. If you can come to your own conclusion, it's perhaps a compliment to the storyteller as well. She smiles at the children around her. So, do you want to listen to a song while you think?
Yes, please.
Of course. And now, if you would pay attention. As Selena says that, gaze lands on the crowd in the distance. Conservation Area 184 is situated near an old evacuation site of the Great Evacuation. Even when ravaged by war, the city nearby is still marked by artworks from the past. Refugees from that city also carry these marks as well. After they were sheltered, the citizens here would share stories and rumors with the soldiers and vice versa, prompted by brief chance interactions. The children even said that operas from Babylonia would play here sometimes. But right now, this is not a relaxed place with people exchanging tales. On the contrary, Selena can see the sadness that lingers on everyone's face. A few weeks before her arrival, a moderate-sized battle took place here. Despair on the people's faces echoes what has transpired. They need the comfort that a child would need. So Selena has chosen a lullaby. She starts gently, like a mother rocking a baby's cradle. As the song progresses, she increases her volume slowly, making sure her voice is carried beyond the children encircling her. As the song quiets down, her voice still manifests brightly. Her gentle voice can calm every child it can reach. This is a lullaby. They are songs that comfort children, that comfort everyone.
Will Prospero hear it too?
Perhaps Prospero needed a lullaby too. What kind of lullaby do you think he'd need?
I think a gentle one like the one you sang is enough. After his adventures, he might need some compliments on top of comfort. That's not...
Excuse me. Need some water.
That's not right.
Selena smiles, walking away from the group of children. They need a space where they can talk among themselves. She finally has a chance to head toward the person she has been searching for. Okay, I need to pay attention to the time. It's still 10:40 p.m. Pacific time on April 1st. Thank you for anyone who may be tuning in. This is my re-debut as Selena. And we're continuing on the story. Selena Interlude. Song of Flowers. Here we go. Excuse me, are you Pieter?
I am.
The construct soldier raises his head for maintenance and takes off his gears, revealing an age-rigid face. Selena salutes him. Nice to meet you. My name is Selena. Babylonia has learned about what transpired during the battle near Conservation Area 184. You have been instrumental during the fight, leading a squad and carrying out a vital decapitation operation. Your bravery was instrumental in preventing a catastrophe in the conservation area. Everyone alive here is grateful for your contribution. Babylonia recognizes your actions and would love to bring you up to commemorate you.
It's my honor. I'll head up if I have time.
His response is simple and direct, without a hint of joy. Selena gathers from his age, that he is long used to commendation like this. He does not stop speaking, however.
A notice for commendation could have been done with comms. I wasn't expecting a person. The song you sang, that was your idea?
It was. I thought it would bring some comfort, in the most gentle way. Away from the bonds and rules of the highbrow art world, Selena cannot help but relax in a simpler place like this, where she can be more direct about her intents and thoughts with others. I worried that it would offend those of you who were on the battlefield, so I decided to sing to the children instead, hoping the song would reach your ears as well. She looks to the side as she says that, and she thinks the furrowed brows of the sorrowful crowd have indeed eased a little. Perhaps commendations and operas cannot heal the wounds, the wounded, and fight off the enemies. But if there are fighters who protect during battles, then there should be fighters who remember it afterwards. Piero the logistician, Ovar the scout, Celia the analyst, and many, many others. I was sent here to make sure they are not forgotten, to make sure their families and the people here understand what they have given, so that the people who live here can share the light and have their spirits soothed. This is what the commendation is for.
Is that so? You did well.
The veteran remains impassive, but his nod seems to suggest a compliment to Selena.
You're Selena, right? I've heard of you. A rising star from the WGAA. Wasn't expecting to find you here. Thank you, Selena. I've received your notification. I still have a mission coming up. Excuse me.
Of course, but please, one more thing. You should know a man named Florence. He was a member of your team. He assisted you in decapitating the target corrupted during that battle. It was crucial to the outcome. The children informed me that Florence joined the army because of an opera that moved him. As a fellow soldier and art lover, I wish to show my regard for his courage. I was hoping to locate his family to deliver Babylonia's recognition to them, while bringing comfort to his family and friends. Would you like to join me as his captain after you complete your mission?
Of course. That's what I usually do.
Thank you very much. Would you mind telling me where he lived?
I can show you the way, miss.
Before
she finally... Excuse me. I must have choked on something there. Let me have a sip of water. I'm sorry about that. Okay, before she finishes speaking, Selena feels a small pull on her hand. She looks down and sees a boy grabbing her finger, pulling lightly.
Uncle Florence lived quite far away. If Uncle Pieter is busy, can take you there. I take you. Can you sing that song again, miss? It's just that my mom passed during the battle. Your song reminded me of the lullaby she sang me. I want to record the song so I can listen to it later. Is that alright?
Of course, dear. We can do this now. A child's spirit is as delicate as an adult, and as resilient. Selena looks at Peter, who nods and turns to leave. As he said, he still has a mission to attend.
But for real? That's awesome! Let me find the recorder.
Boy takes out an old recording device from his large coat, rust staining its external speaker as a morning glory flower.
Uncle Florence made this himself. We all got one from him. I think I have to press this to start recording.
The boy finds a button on the device and presses it. Selena prepares to sing. Instead of a notification that the recording is starting, what they hear is an aria. An aria. Aria chikan desu. That's one of Selena's battle lines. Aria no chikan desu.
Oh, that's not it. That's the song Uncle Florence recorded. Brian, stop this.
The boy fiddles with the recording device in a panic, but Selena catches his fluttering arms and holds them down. Hold on. Please, let me hear this. She lowers her gaze, watching the recorder and frozen in place. The boy assumes Selena is enjoying the opera recording, so he stays silent for a second before speaking quietly.
Uncle Florence loved this opera very much. He said that was what made him join the army in the first place.
The boy seems to be sharing with Selena how he feels, recalling what he was thinking the first time he heard this song.
I also like it a lot. It reminds me of what the grown-ups fighting the monsters outside the conservation area said. The reasons they fight. What did Mom sacrifice herself for? What was she thinking before she stepped out and fought? I seem to understand a little bit more every time I hear this song. That's important.
Oh, is that so? Selena answers briefly before turning her attention back to the aria. It is a magnificent, flaunting melody. The singer's passionate voice evokes angry shouts at times and tearful cries at others. The two emotions interweave and linger on a thread called death, a lament for someone who passed. The voice pushes and pulls, reaching high and low, finally approaching the climax. And then a hand pushes the stop button hurriedly.
Uncle Peter?
The veteran who was heading out for a mission appears behind Selena out of nowhere.
Reed, your dad's looking for you. He needs your help with your mother's things.
Oh, I'll get going. Miss, can I come and find you later?
Sure, of course. The boy packs up his recorder and leaves in a hurry. Selena watches him go, but her eyes are not focusing on his figure, nor anything else. Can I ask you a question, sir? Oh, the music started up.
Shoot.
I heard what the boy played. It was a small part of an opera. Is this my opera? Yes, it could be, I don't know. The boy said that Florence decided to join the army after hearing it. I know their opera well. It's called the Acadia Evacuation. That's my opera. The opera Selena wrote. And And that boy's uncle, dead because of me. I wrote it.
Don't think too much of it. It was my fault that I couldn't stop him from sacrificing himself. The veterans...
Excuse me, sorry. Oh. Some... Excuse me. The veteran's voice is hoarse, but his tone is soft.
You should be proud of your talent. Your work is influential and powerful enough. Carry on the legacy you claimed. You did everything you could set out to do.
Selena closes her eyes. She hears the tempest. She thought she had found the meaning behind her belief and her passion, with which she could build a ship that sheltered people from the storm, taking her through all the unknown tempests on the sea. She never thought that the tempest would brew from what she loves. One of the people she mourns now was on the battlefield because of her song. Oh no. With the truth revealed to her by the boy, she finds herself once again drifting in the tempest, as Ferdinand and Antonio did. If you wouldn't mind telling me, where is the girl they call Flora? The tempest is still brewing, but Selena sails forward. I want to see her. The veteran appears to be caught off guard.
She's not here right now. The mission I just received says that she left her home last night. I'm going to get her back now.
Oh, chapter 2. Now I finally remember what's going on. So this is set after the Red Tide. And after this, the original Selena interlude. So we may have been reunited with the Commandant already. But since then, Selena's whereabouts have been unknown to everyone. I haven't quite finished this patch's story, Rectitativo di Fantasia. I've only done the first 2 playthroughs. So I'm at the part where Ayla and Commandant are looking through the old opera playback device, trying to find clues for me. It is 10:53. Let's continue with the story. It's still April 1st, 10:53 p.m. I'm sorry I was late. I was planning to do this story reading last night, but I got held up. I had a lot of technical issues, and for that I'm very sorry. It's still a little bit late, but it's still April 1st. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Okay, let us continue. Chapter 3 of Song of Flowers. The Festival of Innocence. The girl and her friends raising their innocent hands, now like a mighty wind, they raise to heaven the voice of song. So it's pretty clear at this point that this girl is not Selena, it's Flora, but she has quite a few similarities to younger Selena. She has brown hair, she has a ribbon on the side, and she has purple eyes as well. And she loves music and art. So let's find out more. She's writing a letter to me, I assume. Dear Selena. Oh, by the way, for anyone tuning in, how's the volume? Is it alright? Can you hear me well enough? I will try. I will continue for now then. Thank you everyone. Dear Selena, I just came back from visiting your mother as I'm writing this letter. She knows Selena's mother. She looked better than before. Does Selena have a sister? My memory is not quite what it was before. An Echo Aria patch story was also quite a while ago. She looked better than before. you wouldn't stop talking about how good your opera was. It was obvious that she was still proud of her daughter's achievements. Seeing how proud she looked, I couldn't help but think how nice it'd be if you were here to guide me right now. That's right, I need a guide. A mentor who knows about stories to show me the way. Simply put, I hit writer's block, a bottleneck in the story. It was the first time I realized that writers do want to bang their heads on the wall in situations like this. No, Flora, don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt your pretty little head. Luckily, it wasn't a particularly stubborn block. Your mom expertly suggested how the story could progress once I mentioned my predicament. I know she's a talented vocalist, but her insights on storytelling also impressed me greatly. Was that how you grew up? Surrounded by their wisdom and knowledge? How did you convince them when you decided to become a construct? Had you moved the family that loved you so much with the same earnestness even before that? Tell me, Selena. Of course, Ayla. Oh my, I'm so sorry. This letter from Ayla. It's not from Flora. It's Ayla, Selena's best friend. The pink-haired artist. She does painting and she's part of the WGAA. And WGA, I forget what it stands for. World Government Archaeological Association, which Selena and Ayla were both a part of. And Ayla was the one who sort of led the search for Selena when she went missing after the space station blew up. And now, as well, in this new chapter in Rectitativo de Fantasia, she's with the Commandant, exploring clues from the old opera playback device to try to find clues to find Selena. Cold, hunger, unprompted fatigue, and pain keep hitting Flora's body in waves. Oh no! Her throat dry, her voice harsh sounding. The weariness from speaking the lines for so long is tormenting her. I also feel this very much. My throat is dry, my voice is harsh sounding, and weariness from talking like this for almost an hour is tormenting me. Excuse me, I need some water. Excuse me. Oh. She wants to be comforted and cared for as every child does. What would Mom do at a time like this? Young girl tries to find comfort in her memories, but soon she shakes her head. Can't think of anything. Mom is usually more anxious than me in situations like this. Hunger and cold are constants for scavengers, so there is nothing scarier for those who have found shelter and warm food than returning to those days. Whenever the conservation area is hit by corrupted or supplies stop because of natural disasters, people living there will return to the horrifying nightmare. Flora remembers her mother holding her in fear when that happens. Her mother's trembling lips humming an out-of-tune lullaby. The pride her mother would show when their family performs or sings with neighbors is nowhere to be found. The young Flora does not understand this. All she knows is that sometimes her mother is even more delicate than her, needing someone to look after her. And what would I have done? She thinks for a second, then smiles. I would say, "It's okay, Mom. The things here aren't really that scary. They are all pretty if you just don't look at what they are now. Flora suddenly points at a dent in the audience where a pool of still, stale water sits. Excuse me. Look. Melee's Ophelia might have floated past here along the creek in the distance. She does that a lot. Her father taught her everything. She turns and points at the remaining half of a stone pillar, its surface scored with marks of weathering, a standing record of time past. Look there. Perhaps David was watching this place with his pebble, waiting for Goliath's arrival. Excuse me for a second. Thank you for your patience. Oh, I missed the line. Every view she sees, every color it contains, they were all once beautiful at some point in time. In Flora's world, all fear is gone with all this beauty. Flora's mother would always hold Flora intensely afterward, her trembling hands caressing Flora's cheek until she would calm down and smile, the gentle smile that she would normally wear. That is what she would do. That was what she was doing the night before her father left. That is how she can comfort her mother. Flora raises a finger suddenly. Look, the ray of sunlight has showered this earth for billions of years, and it is still shining today. This little girl is so cute. She's living in such horrible circumstances, but she still manages to smile. It is an eye, a compassionate eye that carries warmth. Its tender gaze has brought this land prosperity. A breeze blows by, lifting the curtain and shaking off the dust on it. Under the ray of sunlight, the dust turns into glistening ripples, reaching Flora's nose. She lowers her fingers before coughing constantly as she breathes the dust in. After a brief moment of having trouble breathing, Flora is half kneeling, half sitting on the floor, realizing she cannot even stand. Without her parents' warm embrace or hot food to feed herself, her small frail body's aching. Oh no! Poor child. Maybe I should tell myself what I tell Mom now. If they can make her smile, then I can smile. Then I can smile too. She was... Oh, excuse me, sorry. She whispers to herself. Struggling to stand up, she leans on the wall. In another story, wind flips over the script by her feet, sending her a shiver through her thin jacket. Flora sneezes, but she tries her best to maintain her impassioned voice. This one is a story of an old gentleman. This gentleman's name is Pieter. He's a hero of the conservation area. He is our hero. That's the Pieter we met earlier. So she has this new story already of Pieter, the new hero, which we just met. That Pieter has quite a sexy voice. He can travel to the place the Sky Dwellers retreated to, and he can bring back a lot of stories from their haven. One of the stories he brought back, the one that was the most interesting and impacted me the most, was an opera. Probably talking about my opera. It was called Acadia Evacuation, written by a young playwright from Babylonia. My friend and I, as well as our parents, would gather and watch the opera on a big screen, guided by Peter's narration. It was an emotional and magnificent story. Every one of us was moved. Oh, poor child. How naive you are. Still believe in the lies of Babylonia. I have such great regrets of my own naivety from writing Arcadia Evacuation. That's why I became a construct. So I can actually help people. And you've fallen for my words of deceit and naivety from the past. Oh, you poor thing. Dad left very quickly that day. We missed our dance. The dance. It was just me and my friends trying to do something to express our feelings, but we still had the strength to do so. I didn't know what we could do to express how we felt, except for moving our arms and legs and dancing. Regardless, I took Reed and the others, and we started waving our hands, celebrating the hero's ending in the story. Read this real quick. I'm not sure I follow. It was called This is just her own story now, no longer about the story she was reading. With her back against the wall, Laura lifts a hand, imagining the day when she danced with her friends. She's dancing the lead role. She imagines guiding her friends into graceful dancers. She does not know how many times they would have stepped on each other's toes if she were actually dancing with them. Unsteady as she is right now, but she is enjoying this solo dance in her imagination. All of a sudden, she reaches her hand upward, as if asking the sunlight from the gap in the ceiling to join her. Right. Didn't I ask Uncle Peter to dance with me as well? He refused. His frame was too big to dance with someone like me. Laura closes her eyes and thinks for a second, then sighs. I did try, thinking I could jump and dance at the same time, but I messed up all my steps. Luckily, Uncle Peter was very encouraging. Out of nowhere, he looked at me and said I reminded him of his child. Uncle Peter's son likes stories as much as I do. He'd jump up and down every time he heard one. Uncle Peter remembers that his son asked him to return soon to continue his story on the day before the actual great evacuation. This Uncle Peter is pretty old. I guess he is a veteran. I don't really remember how long ago the Great Evacuation happened. I'm not sure they say it directly in the story, but I think some fans on the Reddit have done calculations based on the other lore to estimate when the Great Evacuation happened and the punishing virus broke out. But he was too busy carrying statues, or perhaps paintings, or something for the Sky Dwellers. Anyways, he didn't tell his son how that story ended. Remember it? What a shame. I've rarely heard an incomplete story. How difficult it must have been for his son to have to wait for the ending of that story. If I can meet Uncle Peter's son, well, he must be old enough to be my uncle too. Yeah, that's right. Because the evacuation happened quite a while ago. That's why I don't really know the timeline of this. This is current day, current chapter. Definitely in the future. If I meet him, I have to talk to him about this story of his. I hope I can comfort him with how agonizing he must be with only half a story. But every time I told Uncle Peter about this, it looked like he was about to cry. He said he probably wouldn't see his son for a very, very long time. Oh no, is his son dead? Or missing? I said something to comfort him. Right. What was it I said? Laura looks at the seats and lowers her voice as if asking the statues, the paintings, the silent artworks that have stood here for a long, long time. She looks up after a while. Oh, right. I said, there must be a lot of stories he can tell his son when they see each other again. Oh, the innocence of youth. How precious. I know that war is a very terrifying thing, but as horrible as it is, it can't cover up all the good things ahead of us. Just like what Dad used to say. Laura raises her arms in joy, hugging the air as if embracing her parents. She imagines the veteran storyteller standing nearby, ready to tell the next tale. Ah, it worked! Right then, Flora realizes she is smiling as she hugs herself. Hugging herself. She is smiling because of what she envisioned. Her smile is as endearing as her mother when comforted. It reaffirms what she believes. Her sincere performance and imagination will touch her mother, and her mother will understand how she feels, how her father felt. She picks up the script once again. Okay, that was chapter 3. It's quite a long story, but it's quite interesting so far. I hope you guys are enjoying my narration. Today's my re-debut, my new model, and my new voice. Debut as Selena Windstrider. Yes, today, April 1st, 11:13 p.m. Still April 1st. Right now, April 1st for another 47 minutes. Thank you, Cherry, for always supporting me, and for supporting me now as Selena. Need a moment I need a quick break. Thank you. So I need a quick break to the ladies' room. We'll be back as soon as I can. Thank you for your patience. Mic check. I think this is good. I'm back. Thank you everyone for your patience. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, I do need to drink some water. Thank you for the reminder, Cherry. Yes, I am now hydrated. Thank you everyone. And thank you, Cherry, for the reminder. It's me. Wait. Chair is rolling around. Okay. I think it's stabilized now. Water ASMR. Yes. Okay, let's continue. First, thank you everyone for tuning in to my debut again with my new model and my new identity. Selena reading, and I'm doing today reading the Selena interlude from Punishing Grey Raven. Adagio andante, enso kaishi. It's the only line I know. Okay, let's begin. Festival of Vicissitudes. Is that morning cry a song? Going to be a song of joy? It's 11:20 and it's still April 1st. Dear Selena, I have started to work on my story again after receiving your mother's suggestions. The writing has since been going smoothly, more or less. I'm afraid I don't have more updates regarding it right now. To compensate, I've attached a funny thing that happened during the writing process. My last letter alarmed you. I hope this one will offer you peace of mind. Even better if it makes you laugh. I've seen you smile, but it was always a polite smile before your mother or other guests. Even I have rarely seen you smile comfortably as yourself. But I can't forget it, having seen it once. Not long after you became a construct and joined the archaeological team, you helped restore an opera from a composer in the Golden Age. You couldn't wait to contact me the moment you finished listening to that old performance. And when I saw that beautiful, bright smile on your face, and that was the real thing. You smiled as you told me how much you were enjoying the opera, how it still lingered with you. You were wondering who this composer was and for what reason this person joined the fight. You were thinking about how you would tell him what his work meant to you. I'm listening to it right now as I write this. It's been entered into WGAA's archives. Now, everyone can listen to the story that made you smile. What kind of... Sorry, I'm double checking. Okay. What kind of image would you conjure up when you hear about this? You met that composer in your journey. What would you say? Tell me, Selena. So this is about the story. Is this from Flora or Ayla? This one sounds like it's from Flora. Oh, it's Pieter again.
Selena. You've been standing here for a while, ever since we entered this area. What's wrong?
Deep in thought, Selena looks up to see the wilting flowers and ruins that litter the land before her. This area is too barren to be called a city ruin, but the echoes of past civilizations mean this is no wilderness either. This is one of the ruins of the Great Evacuation Site. A large battle took place here a few weeks ago. Please excuse me for a moment. and the most crucial figure in that fight is standing right in front of her. Performing my duty as a member of the archaeological team and searching for art data at this evacuation site. Okay, I'm still very confused. If this happens after the red tide, why is Selena down here? Selena has been missing ever since the space station blew up from chapter 10 with Watanabe. I don't know the series of events. Is she a clone or something? Or am I forgetting details from the past? I was just considering where to start. She then looks at the colors-covered ground. She is not sure if it is the work of someone or nature. A sea of flowers has blossomed on the war-ravaged field. A few of the petals have been crushed, leaving behind small footprints. I'm also looking for a girl named Flora. I heard she left the conservation area for a while now. She will likely get infected in this area with a low punishing virus concentration. The trails of artwork I found just happened to lead me to this place, and here I am running into you. Selena looks at the small footprints. The girl was running across this field a few hours ago in the night.
Thanks for helping, but just having more boots on the ground doesn't make the search easier. Searching for missing people from the conservation area is my job and expertise. You're from WGA. You're here for the commendation, and I suppose.
Yetter points to the stone wall next to him. Complex and artistic patterns cover the surface, where a faded plate engraved on top vaguely reads, Evacuation Site 184, Acadia Evacuation.
You're here for them as well, right? Let's all focus on our own missions.
You're right. In that case, would you allow me to assist you while I carry out my own mission?
Huh?
Selena smiles, walking forward along the wall. Yetter was pointing, looking further beyond where the stone wall lies. Look, this is a standard pattern you'd find in a large gallery right before the main hall. Flora would have recognized it and headed for the gallery, and she would... Selena points to one side of the stone wall. And that way.
You looked into Florence's girl?
I simply asked around among the children. They told me that Flora is a well-known art lover in Conservation Area 184. She has left behind paintings and notes about her dreams and the stories she wants to tell. Clearly, Florence taught her much. Now that she has run away to somewhere fairly concentrated with the punishing virus, away from the conservation area, and is nowhere to be found, it was because of what her mother did. After Flora's mother heard about her husband's death, she threw away most of his work in a moment of grief, while Flora collected them back, again and again. Eventually, she left with those works without anyone noticing. Flora would have left with complicated feelings, hoping to find a way to save her grieving mother. She might not have a destination in mind. When she reached here, she must have slowed down for the ruins as an art lover. She might be wondering what these places looked like in the past. This could have been a supple field where wheat, barley, rye, wild beans, and peas flourish. She lifts her hand to her waist, opening her palm as if the crops she mentioned are really here. She's touching them. These could have been the turfy mountains where the sheep nibble, the flat meads thatched with stover, and the banks with pine and twill brims. I have no idea what that means. Oh.
But this is nothing now.
In an instant, Pieter's words take away the crops and fields, leaving behind the barren land and the few shrubs that are here. Oh, Pieter, why do you have to be so cruel? Right. My apologies.
Regardless, thank you for your help. I'll head that way and look for her footprints.
Pieter takes a few steps toward where Selena pointed, and he indeed discovers Flora's small footprints among some bushes. Following the footprints and the landscape, Pieter analyzes where the trail leads while advancing. Selena, meanwhile, follows closely behind. Speaking of which, do you know what the most famous painting among these ruins was? This used to be a gallery, and that painting used to be hung here. Deep within the ruins, Selena suddenly stops and gestures toward an empty wall next to her. It was a long painting of a starry sky. It could have stretched from this end to the other, covering the whole wall. Artist painted it while threatened by hunger and cold. Selena touches the wall, her fingers gently gliding over the rough surface, as if the painting is still there before her, meeting her fingertips. I still remember how shocked I was when I first saw it. The sun above our head has been shining upon us for billions of years. Who knows how many light years those stars had to travel to arrive here? This planet is like an eye, and wherever it looks, it is enveloped by the light from the sun.
But the light from a star has nothing to do with the planet. Otherwise, every planet could be an eye by your logic.
That's a good point. Selena smiles, seemingly having found a rare person who understands her. A correction then. There isn't just an eye in the universe. There are also gazes. Perhaps one day in the future, ours will meet the gaze of another star. When that happens, we could very well communicate with each other. The method might be unconventional and ineffective, like writing letters. What do you think, Pieter?
Well, you went from a painting to aliens very quickly. I suppose it's fair that an opera composer such as you would have such a rich imagination.
That is all Pieter says before leaning down and continuing his search in the field for Flora's footprints. But then he turns around again.
But I must correct you on one thing. Aliens might be a little too far away from us. Even if we could establish communication, it would take too long. We wouldn't have time to translate their language before our civilizations are gone, and vice versa.
Distance of time isn't right. It's a shame then, but even lost civilizations leave behind traces. They would have a long time to appreciate the marks we left behind. As long as we keep looking, the light of our art still travels across the universe. Then one day we will meet. I believe those lives would have expressed their light despite the pain and the loss leaving behind their marks, and we would call those marks art. Right. Isn't expressions a fundamental part of art? Excuse me, I need some water again. Okay, let's continue. Whether it's done through brushes, words, or other media, the expression offered to the world is art. Just like how the starry night was expressed in the painting, even when the artist was starving, freezing. Artists work tirelessly to leave behind these marks to share their thoughts with others, even across time itself. Hunger and cold would not stop them when they would sacrifice themselves for art. For that, art might be as crucial to mankind as food or sleep. Don't you think? Selena looks at the veteran eagerly.
Huh.
What Selena receives is a dismissing chuckle. Dismissing? Selena is not completely certain. She also hears something else in his voice. So, according to you, the lives we lost on the battlefield, in those merciless slaughters, would think about art as well, huh? Selena pauses for a moment, nodding slightly before shaking her head. I might seem too arrogant if I said yes. But I think it is art, as long as it is expressed truthfully. Whether it is from a mother who gives her life to her child, or soldiers who deliver a message to their comrades. As for someone who thinks about art on the battlefield, I'd say that would be you, sir. Yeda raises a brow. Actually, I didn't think of this myself. I learned about it from a scene in an opera. Selena places her hands before her abdomen and begins to sing quietly. I don't know the tune to this, so I can't sing it. Imagination and the freedom it offers. I hope it takes you beyond the ferryman's river. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free. A Hero's Farewell, Act 3, Scene 6. Written by none other than you, sir, I believe. Its ending shook me to my very core, juxtaposing death and the power of imagination. I can talk to you about my juvenile fantasies only because I've seen your work. You are far more creative than I am, sir. Yeda looks into Selena's eyes for a long time. Eventually he sighs.
I didn't think someone would still be talking about that work today.
The work you left behind during the Golden Age has influenced a lot of people in WGAA. Although you have refused to join us, we all consider you to be our pioneer. So he's an artist from the past. He's really old though. Really even older than Windstrider. Doomch. Excuse me. Oh. Selena curtsies to Pietro. The elder composer does not refuse the young artist's gesture, but he does not acknowledge it either. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Sorry.
I appreciate it. Please forget about it. Phony is what it was. It's what it is.
Please don't say that. You wanted to say to the world when you were young, has all been heard.
Huh.
Selena hears the veteran chuckling wryly.
You're good at expressing your feelings.
That's what art should do.
Is that so?
The veteran falls silent.
Selena, all the words you say, you just want to find Florence's girl and ask her about something, don't you?
After his long silence, his attitude suddenly shifts and Peter changes the topic, calling Selena by her name. Indeed, I was hoping to get permission from you to talk to her directly.
In that case, what if I tell you that his ending wasn't how you think it was? You looked into the dead soldiers here and sang for them. That's great. The departed souls will thank you for your efforts, but no more than that. The bravado and lofty promises couldn't stand the last bullet that took them. Do you actually believe that they sacrificed themselves for the greater good, as they said?
Please, tell me if there's something I don't know. Peter answers her with a low hum. Selena thought he was clearing his throat for what he was about to say. Instead, Peter is preparing to sing. He has gone through the story in his head again and again, only waiting for someone to listen. Excuse me.
Time is of the essence. We'll walk and talk.
Deep and dense, the rising space raises the curtain for the prologue of this play. Oh, combat time, finally, where's my controller? Adagio, andante, enso kaishi. Oh no, I have to listen to audio. Let's see. Captain, our battlefront damage rate has exceeded the limit. The corrupted are coming over to siege us. We can't hold them for much longer.
Don't panic, rookie. Don't let fear control you. The collective action of the corrupted. According to records, there must be a corrupted signaling device that rallies them among them. Destroy that device so they won't be much of a threat to us. So, you know what to do?
Locate the corrupted signaling device with the radar detector and shoot them with precision.
I disagree. We can reveal our coordinates and attract the corrupted here.
So whoever finds that signaling corrupted, immediately contact the others to launch a decapitation strike. That way, even if we fail, it will leave a way for those behind.
I object. The built-in radar detector in the frame is damaged. It's very hard to conduct a detection task with such high precision.
Then use the high-precision radar in our tactical equipment instead. We have to find a higher location. There has to be a suitable location nearby.
All right, I agree. Start searching the map. Got it. I've sent the coordinates to you. Wait, there's a signal tower several kilometers away from there. It will amplify the signals. This is really long dialogue for a battle.
We activate the radar near there. The corrupted will be gathering even faster, which will leave us no time to retreat.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
The success of the operation is our only goal.
All right, let's move. You go with the rookie. I go on my own. Any objections?
No.
Oh.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
I don't know what we're doing. Oh, it's me. What does this button do? Wait, who am I supposed to go with? What? I'm lost. What? What's going on? No.
これじゃキリがない。機体損傷率が。私は整備が必要だから、新兵、先に行って偵察をお願いできる。私は後から追いつくから。了解。
This is pretty cool. We haven't had voiceovers in gameplay in PGR ever, I think.
油断した。新兵、応答せよ。通信機が壊れてる。仕方ない。レーダーを起動するしか。
Oh, I think I'm just a ghost. I'm just a ghost. I'm just overhearing them as the audience. What's going on?
ここなら通れそうだ。すぐ連絡しないと。先輩。
Senpai.
返事を。レーダー信号がなぜ。くそ、先輩の通信機が壊れたのか。僕が先輩より急がないと。電波塔なら信号が強いし、範囲も広い。
This is so cool. Oh no! An ambush! Is he gonna defeat them? Oh, 3 down, 2 to go.
やっとここまでたどり着いた。発生装置が壊れそうだ。急いで電波塔を起動して。電波塔信号を拡散できる電波塔を。
Okay, I probably have to go to someone else. Captain. What's going on? What? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm supposed to run around, investigate. This is a little confusing. And they should be blasting music at this point. PGR music is so wonderful. I think this is a dead end and I can't even leave. I'm so lost. Does anyone know what I'm supposed to be doing? What's going on?
No one's supposed to answer the questions. Who destroyed the cup corrupted signaling device? Captain. Who is down? The soldier. Okay. I just completely glossed over that. I apologize. As the bass song quiets down, drowning in the sound of the crumbled stones, Selena cannot help but raises a hand and salutes the veteran before her. Then it hits her that she was not watching an opera in the audience seats. The story she just heard was not fictional. The bass singer has steadily recited a mission report, except Peter sang it with his old yet flexible voice as if he were performing a solo in a historical epic. It was a story about the moments before a soldier died. In that intense battle, the soldier activated the wide area search radar alone for the decapitation operation on a corrupted signaling device. The search attracted the corrupted to the soldier's location, leading to his demise. This is more or less the same as what Selena has read in the reports, except with the gruesome scene Pieter is showing her in his terminal of the soldier's fate.
I watched Florence die before my eyes. Send me the location of the device. Then the call was terminated.
The terminal shows a set of coordinates followed by a string of garbled codes. It is almost as if the soldier was shouting out the coordinates in the comms before his voice was dispersed by the corrupted signals.
Your expression tells me that you can imagine how he looked the moment he died, right? I suppose there's nothing I can say that will describe how he looked. His tear ducts probably burst from the volume of tears, and those tears would land on the pool of his vital fluid on the ground. He could grow a crystal out from his pain if his regrets were mixed in that pool of water. His expression was frozen on the terminal as his call ended, branded on the monitor, staring straight at me until I received the coordinates. Expressions are art. Then he used his life to show me this artwork of regret and hate. How affecting this art is that I wanted to hate as well. I've seen so many men and women like him entering the service with enthusiasm, only to end in the same way. The expressions and mourns before their deaths are all so similar, like a play performed over and over again. How can a performance like that not make you angry and regretful?
Pieter turns his eyes towards Selena, his gaze heavy with pain.
Or perhaps what I should regret is writing that opera. Had I been a more mature writer.
It is not finished because that possibility is too far-fetched. Selena sighs lightly. Ah. She recalls Peter's earlier chuckle. It's not just dismissiveness, but helplessness as well. That helplessness weighs heavier on her heart than how she was dismissed. No, that chuckle is not that heavy. What really weighs her down comes from herself. Before she decided to look for Flora, she had conjured an answer she would like to hear, the perfect image of Flora's father in her head. She often imposes what she thinks onto others, applying her ideas and values to these scriptures that she shapes. Now the sculpture is shattered. Her pride and expectation have sunk her heart, making it difficult for her to breathe again. The veteran before her is crying, carrying the same burden, but he has traveled much, much further. He feels powerless seeing the same aspiration in her. I have to see her. Selena finally speaks after a long time. Florence's daughter. I have to see her. Okay, that's chapter 4 of Song of Flowers. And it is right now 11:48 p.m. Pacific time, which makes it still April 1st. Thank you everyone for tuning in to my debut today. It's been almost 2 hours. My throat really hurts. That's how I feel at the moment. Thank you everyone for watching. Okay, it's time to continue. Song of Flowers, Chapter 5. I don't think we will finish this in, I don't know, the next 12 minutes, but let's continue. The fly, the feeling of empathy is life, strength and breath. Another letter. Dear Selena, I've got good news. Okay, it's time for some water ASMR again. How refreshing. Thank you. Thank you, Cherry, for your kind words and encouragement and your care for my well-being. Dear Selena, I've got good news. The play I've been writing has an important breakthrough. So Ayla doesn't write plays. This has got to be Flora. Only one of the letters so far has been from Ayla. It happened because I've obtained more information about you. Records from the abandoned space station. Oh god, not the space station. Wait, if it's abandoned, isn't this after she's gone missing? Why is this girl writing to Selena after the incident? What's going on? I don't know. Chairman Allen had a long struggle with the Parliament in order to conduct an investigation and data collection on the space station. I've never seen him looking this serious. The squad that eventually landed there retrieved the remains of the lost archaeological team. One of their memory banks miraculously preserved an audio file. It was your voice in that file. Oh no, this is the final message before the incident. I heard the chat you two had in your song. Truth is, it took me a while to collect myself before writing this letter. I'm sorry, but I can't recall how I felt when I first heard it as I'm writing this. I felt hurt and helpless and angry. I can see them on Chairman Allen's face as well, who allowed me to listen to the clip. For a moment, I almost felt like you were there with me. Sure, that was pleasant and naive, but perhaps that sweetness was what allowed me to write the story down. Later in the audio clip, there was only one voice. Your voice. You were talking to yourself. You told me that talking to oneself is an inevitable step in creation. Truth be told, that too was how I felt since I started writing. It is a peculiar experience. I thought I knew myself quite well, but as I started penning my character's actions, I began to realize there are so many parts of me that I have yet to explore. The ways I wanted the world to develop as I wrote them down. Do you also talk to yourself when you write? Have you ever been convinced, accused, or saved by your inner self? In the 3 years you slumbered in the space station, how many times have you talked to yourself? Has it been 3 years already? Wow, how time flies. Tell me, Selena. Yeah, PGR, I don't really know. Oh, it's Ayla. It's not the little girl. What is happening? Why is she writing a play? I'm so confused. Oh, blood and blades. Am I? An impressive battle it was, my brave comrades. The fight is yet over. Our land is corrupted still, I'm afraid. So stand behind your homeland. You shall guard and defend. Stand, stand, skybound our home intends. Stop us this bitter earth shan't. The girl before them sings relentlessly, showered in the orange-tinted light. She looks so lively with the dust focused on her like a spotlight, highlighting the only protagonist on this stage. Only when Selena approaches closer does she realizes the girl's frail body is slightly shaking. Flora's arms show small signs of infection. Oh no! Which must be excruciating for a child. She is relying on her willpower to perform for an empty audience. I feel the same. I'm using all my willpower to perform to almost an empty audience. Except for Cherry. Thank you, Cherry, for tuning in. Thank you, anyone else who's here putting up with me. This is an underground theater. The subterranean design has slowed down its deterioration, and the hidden entrance has shielded it from corrupted attacks. Even the stage is intact. It also makes it difficult for those who search for it. Pieter followed the track to this place, only to be circling it outside, unable to pin down Flora's trail. I found her. By the time Selena discovered the underground structure and found the entrance by analyzing the architecture and the surroundings, it was already dusk. Then she argued with Pieter for a while at the entrance. If we take her back by force, she's just going to run away again in the future. Just give me a little time. A little's all I ask. Let me talk to her. Well, thank you, Cherry, for such kind words. She convinced Pieter to stay at the entrance, entering the theater by herself. And she has been watching the first half of the girl's solo performance as the sole audience. As the girl finishes the segment, Selena steps forward. Oh, blood and blades, one by one, you set my friends away. Selena steps onto the stage, speaking the familiar lines, the very words that her younger self wrote. My dearest brother, a brave soldier, scars covered. Before my eyes he fell, the battlefield his blood colored. Noticing an unexpected audience and co-performer, Flora looks ecstatic. She's so cute. Beside him, a noble officer, wounded and similar fated, crawling to the one first erased. Above the blood-soaked man he lies, arms held, his lips pressing the scorched face. Flora tries her best to control her excitement and stay in character, taking his steps towards Selena. Oh no, combat! Well, I finished the combat in 4 minutes.
準備完了。
準備完了。
オーバーチュア
オー
が
バーチュア
始まります。
オーバーチュア始まります。Oh, they're like actors. Am I gonna fight them though? I think so. Die!
ファンタジアが始まります。
Okay. Hey. Oh no! I don't know the lines for this construct. Boom, 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 boom.
カデンツァ、
Are there
ご
something?
清聴ありがとうございました。
What's going on? I don't know. I'm going to move along. Okay, continuing. Okay. Oh, there's something here. What's going on? Oh, ow! Was he invisible the entire time? Oh, blood and blades, one by one you set my friends away. My dearest brother, a brave soldier, scars covered. Before my eyes he fell, the battlefield his blood colored. Beside him, a noble officer, wounded and similar fated, crawling to the one first erased. Above the blood-soaked man he lies, arms held, his lips pressing the scorched face. Slow down, dear spirit, was his plea. Away we'll fly, if you would wait for me. Weeper I am, there and there. Could not read as fast, so... Next battle! Adagio andante, enso kaishi. Obacho, hajimarimasu.
全開部隊ヌヌエットの時間
Okay, I don't remember the other lines from the old Selena. Ow. Ow, ow. Oh,
ヌヌエット
ow,
の
ow.
時間です
Ultimate. So flashy. Oh, here goes. Oh, blood and blades. Hell has been a long and most
ご清聴あり
familiar
がとうござい
place.
ました
Lost count I have the days since I first saw you. You're slaughtered some miles away. Standing here, your tally I finally know. Feet that no longer dance. Faces that no longer kiss. Arms that no longer hold. My heart trembles. My fear and dread insurmountable. If you would hear me, gods, bury my cowardice as you bury my friends. Here I shall stay. My dying breath will guard this land. Ouch. Ow. Dying. Oh, again. What is this? Wait, that's...
全開部隊
オーバーチュー始まります。アリアの時間です。Let's roll and get out, get out.
ヌヌエットの時間です
Oh, ultimate, here we go. 私がコーダを助けてあげましょう。Oh, okay. Something's happening. Oh, look. Do you see? Oh,
ご
it's
清聴
12.
ありがとうございました
Oh, look, do you see? There. My comrades carried there. The ship departs. Infinite is the love it holds. Eternal will the dreamers last. Away it sails, my hope it hails. Farewell, my friends, my family. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free. This better be the end. I'm tired of these battles. Oh, look, do you see? It's 12. It's 12. It's 12:01. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god. Yes, April 2nd. Happy April Fools for anyone who's here. Thank you, Cherry, for putting up with me. Oh god. Oh, my throat. Oh, dying. Water. Oh. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah. Oh, last night yeah, it's oh god. Well, I mean, doing it a little bit here, I can do it in like a line here and there, but the whole time I slipped a few times. I'm sure you guys might have caught it. I slipped like 4 times, I think, maybe a little more. But yeah, I wanted to do this last night, but I was working with the hair here, and I was trying to isolate the hair, and my drawing tablet broke. Oh my god. Oh yeah, my drawing tablet, the pen stopped working. Like, it wouldn't detect the pressure. It wouldn't detect it when it contacts the pad. I had to press down really hard to even get anything. So it was really hard. So then I switched to doing it with my mouse. And then, mouse is not very ergonomic for drawing. So my hand was cramping and I worked on it for like so long. And then I think I started around 10, and then I was trying to get it done by, my usual midnight time. And then that didn't happen. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna keep working. And my hands cramping. I gotta keep going. Maybe I can start at 1, because 1 is right out. It's already April 1st. And then I kept going, and I was like, and nope, didn't get anywhere. And then afterwards, it was by 2, and then I was like, no, I barely was barely ready at that point. And by then, my spirits were just so
I was just drained, and I don't think I could have done the voice for, you know, another 2 hours or anything. But oh, yes, yes, thank you guys for watching. I hope happy April Fools. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna continue this right now. I'm feeling pretty good right now. So, do you guys have a preference? You want me to continue Selena voice for the rest of? There's only 2 chapters left, or a chapter and a half. One M Aeonian. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, thanks for the follow too. Thank you so much. Yeah, happy April Fools. I don't know. Were you here earlier? Did you catch my 2 hours performance as Selena Windstrider? Okay, so what do you guys want me to continue? I can continue with the story as that, because there's only a chapter and a half left. So I know it's no longer April 1st, but it's kind of fun too. Okay. All right. Anyway, I guess I'm just gonna continue it. I'm gonna continue it as we'll just finish off these last 2 chapters this way.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching. It's no longer April 1st, but I will continue. I will try to finish the story tonight. Lee Entropy and Scion. I don't know who Scion is. Lee Entropy is okay for physical, but it's not one of the meta units. For physical, Alpha is the best, but she'll get outclassed in a little bit. Okay, let's continue the story. We're on the Selena, what is this called? Selena Interlude, Song of Flowers, Chapter 5. For the newest unit, Selena Capriccio. Oh look, did you see? There, my comrades carried. There, the ship departs. Infinite is the love it holds. Eternal will the dreamers last. Away it sails, my hope it hails. It's actually not too harsh on my voice. It's not hard on my vocal cords. Hard on like this lower throat muscle here in the bottom, because I have to tighten them to raise my pitch as high as I possibly can without going into falsetto. So it doesn't have that screechiness of like the squeakiness. So this is just my soft, because Selena's a very elegant and gentle character, so talking like this in a slightly ethereal, wispy way is not too bad. It's harder to keep in character and stop myself from
laughing.
Oh. I had a lot of fun though. Yes, the squeaking. It's not quite the squeaking. I can't even squeak any higher. I can't even squeak any higher than that. Adagio andante. Enso kaishi. Farewell, my friends, my family. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free. Flora sits on the floor, holding out a hand towards Selena. An invitation to dance. This is the same gesture the protagonist does before the curtain call. Flora holds onto her pose for a very long time, her expression not shifting a bit. Does she not want the show to end? Selena wonders, thinking that there must be a stubbornness inside this girl that carries her across the barren desert to these ruins, performing over and over despite the pain from the infection. Selena must protect a heart so frail and resilient. Thinking that, Selena performs the same gesture, and the two of them stand still. Standing still. My arm is getting sore. Why aren't we bowing? Flora's quiet complaint makes Selena realize that Flora is not demonstrating her stubbornness. She simply thinks that all actors cannot move before the final bow. Right. This is the end of the Acadia evacuation. Thank you for watching. She looks so sad here. Selena mimics the motion of pulling the curtain down. Laura's tense body relaxes as the imaginary curtains fall, and her somber expression turns into joy. Whoa, that was great, so great. I know I missed a lot of lines, but it felt so wonderful to perform a full act. Thank you, miss. You're my first audience. So happy, so cute. I have to offer you my gratitude. This way, Mom would. Her voice suddenly dwindles, and her young body falls. Selena manages to catch her before she faints and falls to the ground. Disordered breaths, signs of infection, hunger, cold, all of them take their toll the moment the performance is completed. Oh no! Selena manages to inject Flora with a serum in time, giving the girl water with her water skin. Huh? Oh. Flora, you need to rest. Yes, I can rest now. Voice is weak, but still joyous. She looks like a young Selena. She has like the same. I guess her eyes are not as deep purple. That beautiful deep purple, kind of like my eyes. But she has a bow. You see, look at mine. Look right here, mine's right there. I have a bow on the side. She does too, except it's purple. Mine's is blue. And Selena used to have brown hair too before she changed to a construct. And then, miss, can you tell me how you feel about our performance together? Of course, your performance was perfect. Thank you for doing it. Really? That's great. Do you think Mom will feel better after she sees it? A child can be more stubborn than an adult sometimes. Selena was ready for this small, unyielding spirit. Actually, there is more to the story. Do you want to know how it truly ends? Hearing about an ending to the story, Flora's dull eyes glisten again. Her trembling lips have not even opened, and Selena knows what her answer will be. Selena supports Flora's body with one hand and opens her terminal with another. Quietly, she tells Flora a story, the way she did with the children in the conservation area. The real ending of the Acadia evacuation. This ending does not change any prior plot, but it completely alters the theme of the opera. The dying soldier who stayed on the surface gave the ones departing for Babylonia his blessings. With unregretful death and sacrifice, as well as hope for the future. He died as the opera ended. I need water, hold on. But that was just the fantasy of those who lived. The people from Babylonia were praising how noble soldiers' sacrifices were until they received the dying soldiers' messages, revealing how painful and regretful the soldiers felt. These feelings spread to those who saw the messages. I feel like my voice is failing. I can't maintain this much longer. The quality is going down. I don't know why. Regrets and shame flooded their hearts, followed by indifference, a way to protect themselves. That is it. That's the real ending. Laura mumbles, voicing her first thought. She has recovered much with a serum and water, but she is still leaning in Selena's arm. But why? I don't get it. I don't understand why the writer would think that way. Miss, do you know? Can you tell me? Of course. Perhaps she didn't think clearly when she published the first version of the opera. Perhaps she has been through something else that changed her mind, and she gave the story a new ending. Regardless of the plot, An author's intent will always reveal itself in the ending. A line from the ending can elevate the story, or it can make the story linger. Of course, an ending can also overturn it. Legends and spirits are such wonderful things, but not everyone can place them above their lives. The heroic sacrifice might not be the end. A hero might have cried, cursed, or regretted his choice. After all, the story is not the whole truth. Okay. Laura closes her eyes. She seems to be thinking, or perhaps she is simply too tired, about to fall asleep. Regardless, Selena has to take her away now. Right as Selena is about to lift her up, however, she jumps from Selena's arms and stands.
Oh.
Sorry. That's wrong. It's not right. Laura crouches, still trembling, picking up the paper booklet on the floor. Those are the creased pages of the Acadia evacuation, most likely left behind by her father. The people who stayed behind would feel regretful and hateful. That's possible. That makes sense. But still... She writes down a few lines on the crumpled paper, turning what Selena said into dialogues. And then she adds a few more lines. Flora works fast. She started with words. Now she's filling the pages with childlike drawings and weird symbols. Probably a secret language the girl invented. Writing and drawing, she eventually holds up the script and narrates another new ending for the new ending she just heard. The grandeur of the sacrifice is just a fantasy for those who live. The people from Babylonia embracing...
I'm failing at this. Give me one second, let me blow my nose.
People from Babylonia were praising how noble the soldiers' sacrifices were until they received the dying soldiers' messages, revealing how painful, regretful the soldiers felt. But the people up there do not ignore this pain. They remember their laments and turn that into the fuel that drives them forward. One after another, squads are sent to the surface from above. When the day of peace and liberation arrives, they return stand before the soldier's grave, giving him the funeral he deserves, and they say, "Farewell, my friends, my family. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free." Right, that's how it should be. Well, the music changed. The people who got sent away will one day understand why the soldiers sacrificed themselves. They were fighting for the same cause. So that's now the ending. That's how the ending should be. The child, just recovered, opens up the script with her shaking hands, unveiling the new ending to Selena. Selena, meanwhile, is taken aback. Is that the ending you think will come true? Come true? No, I don't think it is. I think it's the ending that would move me, that would move Dad. I know how the writer felt, but I get to decide how I interpret it. I just think that, even with part of the ending dismissed, there must be more to it when the sacrifice was written so majestically. Stories before the ending made me feel that despite feeling powerless and hurt the moment they stepped onto the battlefield, the people who sacrificed themselves had received courage and hope. Passing on this courage and hope was why the writer wrote this opera in the first place. Isn't that enough to understand this? The truth might be too complicated. The writer might not understand everything when she wrote it. Prospero, Iris, Magic, none of them are real, and I don't know why the writer wrote them this way. But they were nice. They were nice. Isn't that enough? Instead of an answer, Flora receives a hug. Selena embraces her tightly. You're right. That was very well said. They are so close that Selena can hear Flora's heart beating in her chest. Putting on a jacket, I think I'm getting cold. Might help my voice a little. The same heartbeats as Selena's. Thank you. Why are you thanking me? Once again, Selena does not answer, only holding Flora even tighter. Thank you for rebutting me and reflecting sincerely. I knew you could do it. Thank you for saying what I couldn't say. Those words would be too powerless if they came from me. Your ideas will be carried into your work. One day, they will also move someone else. That's enough. Lost or hurt, this pureness of yours will guide you and guard you. Even when facing adversity, you will outlast the storm. If this war ends one day, you will become an artist of admirable pursuit. I believe you can do it. Oh, then thank you, miss. What you said makes me believe that I bring Mom comfort. Hazy as she may be, Laura sits up and answers Selena. This guy's still here. Finally, Pieter watches from afar. He is supposed to take Flora back by now. Even with the serum, it is not a good idea for a child to stay somewhere with a low concentration of the punishing virus. Instead, he just stays away from them, watching the two girls holding each other. Selena does not notice this one's audience. She keeps hugging Flora, hoping to send the girl her thoughts through her embrace. Suddenly, Flora looks up and sulks, speaking in a purposefully I don't know how to pronounce that. Accusatory? Is that even a word? So it's either accuse or accusations. Accusatory tone. Hold on. I have to correct you on something, miss. My dad wouldn't have cried before he died. Imagination and the freedom it offers. I hope it takes you beyond the ferryman's river. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free. That's Dad's favorite line. I'm sure he would have left behind this blessing as his last words. I'm sure of it.
This line.
Pieter takes out his terminal. In the message he received, there is a string of jumbled code after the coordinates. Jumbled, however, does not mean unsolvable. Recovering data is a skill every soldier knows. But Pieter did not do it. When he saw those words, the gaze of death seemed to haunt him once again. He refused to look it in the eye. But now he operates on his terminal, untangling and revealing those jumbled words once more. Imagination and the freedom it offers. I hope it takes you beyond the ferryman's river. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free.
How could this be? So, a backbone before you died, huh? Did my words really move you that much?
The rookie who joined the army because of a momentary urge never forgot about the sentiments that drove him even in the face of death. In pain, he chose to pass this aspiration to his comrade. But the rookie did not know that his comrade was the one who seeded this aspiration in his opera in the first place. And now, years later, across time, it has returned to the hands of its author. Putting down his terminal, Pieter lets out a few gravelly chuckles. He looks up at the hugging girls on the stage. He sees two flowers blossoming. Art is their name, the soul their soil. Two flowers have sprouted after being moved. That feeling was passed down from that great composer. Through his hands, it has spread throughout time. Not everything is perfect, nor is the journey smooth sailing. That flower is growing from his legacy. Now it blooms on the battlefield, the Sky City, and the crumbling stage before him, speaking the same line he said in haste in the past.
Oh.
This is from the past. Farewell, my friends, my family. Imagination and the freedom it offers. I hope it takes you beyond the ferryman's river. Elysium bound you will be in the future days when you are free. That's the end of a hero's farewell. Thank you for watching. What a great story, Papa. Can I be someone like you when I grow up? Opera composer. I don't really get it, but if a composer will tell good stories like you do, then I'll go do that. I also have a lot of songs I want to sing, and a lot of stories I want to tell. I hope my stories will also make people jump up and down like I would. Are you leaving already, Papa? Tell me the rest of the story after you come back. Promise me. We're back to the present. Pietro snaps awake. He finds his hands are clapping. He has forgotten this feeling for a very long time. All he can do now is cheer. Hearing him clapping, the two girls on the stage finally notice their audience, and they stand up, slightly embarrassed. By the way, I still don't know your name. Can you tell me your name, young composer? My name? Flora tilts her head, confused as to why Selena is asking her this right now, but she still gives Selena her answer. Selena. My name is Selena. The heck? The fuck? Selena Florence, that's my name.
Okay,
That's chapter 5. One more chapter to go. Excuse me for a second. My sinuses are really acting up, but the show must go on. Adagio andante enso kaishi. Songs of the new bard, youth of delight. Come here and see the opening. Morn, image of truth newborn. The final letter. Dear Selena, I've got another good news. My play is almost finished, ready for rehearsal. I've also got some bad news. Can't complete it yet. There's a haze before me, one that I can't cross alone. Unlike the writer's block I had, the harder I tried this time, the more confused the path ahead was. So I've asked Chairman Allen for help, hoping he can offer me some guidance. I think this is Ayla writing again, because only Ayla knows Chairman Allen. I'm just confused. I guess in the Rectitativo de Fantasia, Ayla is exploring plays more now, ever since she lost Selena, perhaps. How would you feel if you had the chance to see this performance that's based on your story? What were you thinking when you took that probe before the Grey Raven Commandant? Were you thinking about what you used to say to your mom? Sacrifices shouldn't just inflict pain. They should inspire bravery, invoke hope of the calm after the storm. Selena Florence, my dearest friend, tell me, please, answer me. Answer me with your beautiful voice and sing. It's Ayla! It's Ayla!
Earth to Ayla.
There's Alan again. I'm sorry. The young artist blinks, closing her eyes before opening them again. In the expansive opera hall, one gentleman sits alone, listening to her going through the script in her hand.
That's alright. You finished the whole thing. I'm still appreciating the aftertaste.
The gentleman shrugs, diffusing the awkward situation.
I'm just curious to why you kept staring at those letters on the side every time you were done with a scene. Letters? Very common nowadays, are they? Are they the source of your inspiration?
Not that they aren't, but perhaps I should say they are what the play is based on?
Ooh, an autobiography. I should keep my curiosity in check then.
The man knocks on the floor with his cane, his smile slightly shifting.
Anyway, I suppose you're looking forward to what I have to say about your play. Well, bravo! Remarkable work for someone new to the art form.
So it was Ayla writing a play all of a sudden. She's new at this. A wonderful Ayla.
A young opera composer meets a group of art-loving kindred spirits on her way to search for a girl, ending up saved by her past self. Journeys of self-discovery aren't uncommon in operas, but it is refreshing to see yours presented this way. Only you can come up with ideas like that, Ayla. Sure, your writing on the children might be a little too assuming, but that's nothing new for young writers. Probably just your first instinct when you were writing, and you didn't realize it. Mark it down and make sure you don't make the same mistake twice when you go through your draft again.
Thanks, Chairman. Thanks, Chairman. But you must know I'm not looking for simple comments like that.
Changes on the script, huh? Don't worry. I more or less got that when you were reading your script. But before I say anything, I must ask you if that's all you want, Ayla. You asked me to listen to your new play just to get my suggestions on changes to make?
Of course not. I have something else I want to tell you. Ayla lowers her head, her gaze turning to someone at the side. That person is lying in her chamber, her hands crossed and resting above her abdomen. My God, what's happening? Her eyes are tightly shut, the corners of her lips slightly raised, her long hair draping by her sides. Ayla tries to call her by her name, but she knows that person is not here now.
No matter how many times I've seen it, the Capriccio frame still impresses me with its intricacy. It's only here thanks to your push and design. Did you bring it here because you have a new idea for a coating? Coating.
Coding. No, nothing that complicated, Chairman. She's here just because. Ayla looks nonchalant, but her voice is slightly shaking, and her words are stuck in her throat. I just wanted her to be able to see this.
Alright, relax. Let's change the subject.
Duckling, Alan makes a few spins with his cane before standing up from his seat and walking towards the stage.
People in the saloon have been talking about you. They said you keep working late in your studio without sleeping, and they don't really see you that often anymore. They said it wasn't like you, but I think you've just been focusing all your infectious passion on one thing. That being said, this Song of Flowers, you just read, isn't it?
It is. Ayla turns toward the frame by her side again, Ayla's face reflected on the glass of the chamber. It is a face of affection and regret. Have you heard of the whale songs?
You got me there. I once took a probe and stayed by the shore for a few weeks. I was almost frozen to death, but I heard nothing.
Oh, another wild thing you've done or art there, Chairman. But that's not what I meant. Ayla takes out a remote, opens her portable studio terminal. It plays a slow and soft aria. Aria no jikan desu. Alan, with all he has seen and done, is still slightly taken aback when he first hears it.
Uh-oh.
This is some menacing music that's playing. We should be concerned. The tone ebbs and flows as it rises higher. Suddenly, a vast ocean seems to appear before his very eyes. The female singer is not fully imitating the sound of a real whale, but she conveys the same expression in the melody. A lonely blue whale is swinging its tail fin and cruising in the sea. Again and again it sings, its song echoing throughout the ocean depths. but there is no response. The singing stopped. The song has no end, and the lonely blue whale did not find its kind. Taking a few moments, Alan remembers where he has heard this aria before.
Practice number 654. Her unfinished aria.
That's right. The one I have is incomplete. She said that she hadn't thought of an ending yet because she hasn't seen the ocean with her own eyes. She'd write the second half after she's seen the real ocean. Just like this. Ayla clears her throat and holds up her arms, suddenly singing with a gentle voice. The tone also rises, but the direction of the whale is heading has changed. Ayla is not a skilled singer, but even her simple delivery has revealed to Alan the meaning behind the melody. The lonely blue whale is heading deeper into the ocean. It is still singing, and its voice would have formed a cage around it as it echoes more frequently in the narrow trench. But the cage never forms. Instead, the further it dives into the trench, the more faded its voice is. Its echo nowhere to be found. Almost as if the whale is not diving into the ocean trench, but a broader universe. It can no longer find its tribe, its kind, or even life. And the whale is eventually torn apart by the gravity of the void. Its voice gradually fades until its last wail is silent. The song ends. Ayla stops singing. She gives Alan a brief moment to savor the aria before speaking again. Do you still remember Operation Red Tide, Chairman?
I do. That was her.
Alan does not finish. No one wants to be reminded how it ended. Ayla does not continue his sentence as well. She keeps on going. During that operation, a scout from Strikehawk recorded a song from the corrupted, Siren, in order to compare it with our data. Oh my god. Siren. Oh no. My heart. The memories all flooding in my mind. In case you guys didn't know, this is minor spoilers, but Celine, after the incident in the space station, Selena was torn apart by Gabriel and thrown into the Red Tide, where she absorbed the high concentration of punishing virus and transformed into the monster Siren. But fortunately, they were defeated by the Grey Raven team, but her whereabouts are now unknown. Oh my god! Finally, payoff from 6 months ago. A long time after that, Babylonia's sonar detected a surprising recording. After checking, its sound wave closely resembles Siren's song. A friend from the task force told me about that. I pulled some strings, hoping to get a hold of the recording, but what I got was an audio file with white noise and disordered sounds. But I had a feeling I know who sang that response. I repaired the audio file, the skill every member of the archaeological team knows. This song was what it ended up being. Oh my god, oh my goodness. As she says that, Ayla holds up her remote to her ear as if she can hear the whale song again. People from the Science Council told me it's impossible to detect and trace the source. For one thing, sonic waves decay, causing discrepancies in tracking. Our radar can only point at a general location. Secondly, it took time for the song to reach us. By the time we received the file, the singer could be long gone. Oh my god, have they found where Selena is? We can't trace it, but I can't help wonder the singer might be. Did our receiver mistake white noise for a whale song? Was it an unknown machine playing music randomly? Or was it a lament from a lonely blue whale left behind on Earth? Technicians gave me different theories, but I only believe in one of them. That was her signal. That was her whale song. Ayla pauses again, looking at the sleeping frame beside her. There's a metallic iris blossoming on the frame's chest, an adornment for her performance. You might be wondering why I pushed for the development of this frame. It was because I wanted the whale song to continue. I want to use that song from Earth to make sure her voice doesn't end. Ayla turns on her terminal again, revealing a map before Alan. Several circles dotted the map like seeds spread onto the field. Whenever we located an area where her whale song appeared, I would imagine what she had experienced when she traveled there. Did she meet someone kind or dangerous? Would she encounter threatening tempests? Did she see the turfy mountains where the sheep nibbled, the banks with pined and twilled brims, the rainbow across the sky after the tempests? I put all these imaginations and sceneries along her journey into the Capriccio frame. If the person in my story walks the same path and meets the same people as the wanderer on the surface, then when she comes back, she will know that there has always been another whale song from Capriccio following her. She will know that someone out there in the stars has been humming her whale song, wishing her the best on the planet she loves so much. In the years to come, she will realize her journey wasn't alone. When she looks back, she might chuckle, teasing me about how the character arcs in my story are wrong while we modify her frame together. I couldn't save her a few years ago. I can't find the whereabouts of that whale song now. The least I can do is give her a pleasant future. She gave me a soul with her Hamlet. This fragment of her soul has comforted me, so I must repay this kindness.
So you decided to write a story based on her past, didn't you? You visited a few people who know her during her time away from the saloon. I guessed that when you came to me with all your questions a few days ago.
Nothing gets past you, Chairman. Her mind is so alive. To recover her work, I had to find others to talk about what she was thinking back then. I was just surprised to find that Commandant to be one of the people who knew her well. Oh, that's a secret. You didn't hear that? Yes, case for those who don't know the story, from the Selena Tempest affection stories, Selena actually met the Commandant years ago, and they were pen pals. They exchanged such beautiful letters between each other for so many years. I was just surprised. Oh, that's a secret. You didn't hear that. Regardless, I thought I knew her, but knowing the journey she has traveled now, I just want to hold her and tell her how I feel. I want to tell her that the theater she wanted to visit on the surface has a replica here on Babylonia. I want to tell her that the opera she wrote is still well loved. Many people are longing for the day it appears on the stage again. It's still the pride of her mother and me. I want to tell her how many people are listening to the opera she recovered. I want to tell her that the song she sang in that lonely space station has been found. I want to tell her I saw her pain and her strength. I saw her spirit quaking inside the tempest, bent but not broken. But she wasn't here. What else could I do? I had to put them into the story. I started writing Song of Flowers when the signal of the whale song started, heading towards the ruin of the great evacuation site. I came up with a story based on what happened when she was young, using Conservation Area 184 as a stage. But this time, I let her become a character in her own story as well. I mixed in a lot of different ideas and settings, but most of the characters in the story have real-life counterparts. Their names will be changed for the performance, obviously.
Counterparts? I guess the most obvious one was her father, Mr. Florence. He was a legend in the WGAA. A person in high places. He joined the fight after being inspired by art, until his honorable death on the field. What happened to him might have greatly affected his daughter, but it took a much bigger toll on his wife. Mrs. Florence spent a lot of time counseling. Her illness possibly originated from her survivor's guilt. Compound that with losing her husband and having to care for her child, turned away from operas.
She did become very repressed during that period of time. But Mrs. Florence stopped visiting counselors one day while still recovering pretty well afterwards. The first time I saw her, she was with someone accepting, and her daughter was singing a lullaby with her. There was only love in her gaze. She worked hard for all of it. She talked to her mother for a very long time after that. I don't know what she said that changed her mother's mind, but she was allowed to study operas after that. One day, she ran away to this very theater. When her mother found her, she was performing Mr. Florence's last as a one-person performance. It wasn't the first time she ran away. but that was the only time she had the courage and the words to face her mother's pain. She said it was thanks to someone who found her performing alone during one of her escapes and offered her guidance. I don't remember very well. It might have been the Commandant. We did meet. I don't think Selena has met the Commandant until the end of Affection Story 6. They met many times, not face to face, just passing by each other like star-crossed lovers. I don't know who he or she was. I love that so much. That's the thing. Commandant is technically the player character, so it can be whoever you want it to be. Commandant has no gender or age, so it's just you. I don't know who he or she was, but if that person could see this performance, I hope the story will serve as my thanks.
I'm sure that person would see it if fate allows.
Right. Another person on which I based one of my characters is Mr. Pieter. But I'm sure you've guessed it already. Even with all the talented people I've seen, he is still second to none. The operas he wrote have inspired many writers in WGAA, including her. I was surprised to find a famous playwright from the Golden Age buried in the army. Wait, no. It's stressed to me quite a few times that he wasn't buried. This was his choice. It took me some effort to find him and tell him this story, and he agreed to help me with my script after seeing Selena's. I couldn't have finished this without his help. And
Pieter was one of the reasons why you came to me when your script was still unpolished, right?
Alan's timely interjection gives Ayla pause. Ayla has been like a feral rabbit jumping around since Alan came here to listen to her story. She moves on from topic to topic, and he has acted like a patient guide, following and responding but never stopping her in her way. Oh, that's so like Ayla. But now this guide has stepped ahead of the rabbit and planted a fence before her, stopping her from avoiding her past. I can't hide anything from you, can I? I didn't want to mention it.
Artist's eyes are sharp. You are quite insightful yourself, you know. But then, it wasn't hard to tell. I thought she was the protagonist of the story in the beginning, but there was this lack of her self-reflection in it. On the other hand, Pieter's role was very much highlighted. It wasn't a wrong arrangement per se, but it didn't feel like what a new writer like you would do.
Ayla sighs. True, it wasn't my style, but I charged toward it blindly. I didn't think I'd feel this way, but the first time I tried to write a story like that, I was drowned in that feeling. She would have called it... Ayla raises her hand, moving it tentatively, seemingly trying to plug the right word from her mind. Or perhaps she has found the word, but she is hesitant to say it. Lost. After a while, she drops her hand. Right. Lost in the paints of my brushstrokes. In the words of my line, they melt away from the canvas and fall from my script, traveling along my brush toward my arm, coagulating on my hand. Not that I never struggled to pick up my pen, but I never thought I would be a stranger to my canvas and my script. I can't even imagine what this painting and this play will look like when it's complete. I wonder how many times this happened to her on the premiere of the Acadia evacuation that put her on the battlefield. In the end, I attribute it to pride. That's my guess. But is that the truth? Their stories and their insights, have I misunderstood them? Or have I twisted them so that I get the ending I wanted? Every time I step before my canvas, my head is filled with all these doubts. I started to lose sight of what her character would think in my story. So I avoided writing what she thought and just had her push the plot forward blindly. I wanted to ask Mr. Pieter for help, but I just found out that his transmission was lost near a conservation area. It was Conservation Area 184, near the evacuation site, where the whale song was last heard. I was even more lost after I heard the news. To be honest, I haven't made many changes since I wrote this ending. I've been trapped by this feeling for days. I can't take this motionlessness anymore. All my muses will be gone if I don't talk to somebody. Say something, Chairman. I'm sick of drowning in this still water. Then, the rabbit stops standing on the still stage, reaching out for Alan, asking her guide to point her in the right direction. Okay, if I'm being honest, the Ayla voice takes a much greater toll on my vocal cords than Selena voice. So full of energy, so lively. I'm starting to feel it already. I don't know if I can go on. But I must persist. The show must go on. And Alan already has an answer.
Then let me answer you with the scenes from your story. Neither Flora, her father, Pieter, nor she was aware of the whole truth in your story, but they weren't motivated by truth. They each set off on their path because they were inspired when they were moved by the stories they heard. Stories written by someone else. That was their motivation. That was what drove their actions. Am I right?
I love this Alan. I love my Alan voice. It's so funny.
That was why you started writing the story, wasn't it? You visited people she knew to learn about her story. If I guessed correctly, you have memorized every event and analyzed her character at each point in time. You've walked her path and you've looked into her bountiful heart. You know what kind of pressure made her lose her way, and you know how she held on when she was lost. You said you had her push the plot forward blindly. No, you made her come to life. If this is just a story with a happy ending, then it would have ended with the two constructs entering the theater and saving Flora. But you had Flora opposing her future self, inspiring and freeing each other. I think she would have chosen the same if she saw her past self as well. Perhaps a story where a person's past and future selves meet won't happen in real life, but you have given each of your characters a soul, and they have all expressed themselves to the fullest. Maybe you didn't create her completely, but then you know full well that the complete her doesn't belong in a story. This is enough. If they can express how you feel, that is enough. I think she would say the same if she were here. You already created the work you wanted to make, Ayla.
Is that so? Please, excuse me for a second, Chairman.
Of course.
Alan nods and Ayla turns silent, taking a deep breath. The excuse me is not just because Ayla needs to stop the conversation. She also needs to create the right environment. Scene change. Ayla waves her hand and the lights of the theater turn off on her command, one by one. Darkness spreads from the audience to the stage, stopping at a ray of light. Ayla stands in the middle of the spotlight as if she is the source of light. Ayla is always good at turning strange environments into her working space. Right now, the single ray of the spotlight in the dark has provided her with a small studio for her to think. Ayla would probably feel too embarrassed to do this if someone else was in the audience. The sudden darkness can be, after all, quite uncomfortable. Alan seems to be used to Ayla doing this by now. He looks pleased instead of dismayed as he watches the rabbit standing inside the spotlight, her head raised. Ayla does not focus on the dark. She follows the slowly unveiling stars and turns her gaze to the window walls of the theater. A whole window of stars fills her eyes. Once Ayla would see that starry night and find it boring. Those stars are so far away, only one can actually reach her, and who knows how long ago its light started traveling. The stars burn themselves so brightly, casting the photons into space in all directions. The photons travel far and long, sailing forward in the cold for ages until they hit a surface, imprinting the brief image of their stars before getting reflected and scattered. By then, those stars might already have burnt out and died. Would the stars have expected a response for their light? Is a response even possible? Right now, looking at the countless lonely stars out there, Ayla suddenly feels a sense of gratitude. Unlike them, the light she casts is so much closer to her, almost reachable. That light is cast on the blue planet below her, and she is gently singing. Ayla has created this story. It focuses all her inspiration and gives life to the girl in her story. Ayla's starlight and her longing have been cast on Earth. One day, they will reach the girl. How long will that take? A day? A month? Years? Ayla does not know. Her light does not have to travel light years, but it has to traverse uncertainty. Thinking about that, Ayla raises her hands. The studio terminal awakes once more, opening a holographic display before her under her commands. Please excuse me, I need some water. Thank you for your patience. She swipes across the display, hoping to open the map with the trails of the whale song. Instead, a photo of a smiling girl standing among the bushes of flowers appears before Ayla. Selena! She says the girl's name in a daze. The girl among the flowers smiles at Ayla. The same way the girl smiled when she left Ayla. This is an imprint of the moment before the girl left. Ayla takes its light and reflects it back to Earth. When will the slow-walking, quietly humming stars see her light? When that happens, will these two stars that have illuminated each other look the same? The distance of time, is it? Right. It is a shame then, but even lost civilizations leave behind traces. They would have a long time to appreciate the marks we left behind. As long as we keep looking, the light of our art still travels across the universe, and one day we will meet. For a second, the lines Ayla wrote echo within her. Why? She wrote those words, but why does she only understand them now? The gaze that travels between the display and the starry night lands on the sleeping girl in the chamber unintentionally. Huh. Of course, because I didn't write them all by myself. The girl's quiet smile has given Ayla the answer. That line was not entirely Ayla's work. They were the girl's words, written through Ayla from a memory. Ayla's finger lingers on the terminal, touching her painting. For a brief moment, there, her hand seems to travel through the canvas and reaches the field of flowers, thousands of miles away. If she cannot tell how far it is, then she will keep shining until her light reaches the girl's eyes. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Ayla takes a deep breath again and raises her hand. The theater gradually lights up again. Alan looks at her with anticipation. Thank you, Chairman. I'm feeling much better. Responding to her guide's expectations, she smiles confidently.
That's the smile I was hoping for. You're back. How do the folks in the saloon say it? This is the smile of the blunt, unclouded Ayla who puts all of herself on her canvas.
Haha, no way, your imitation is perfect. I'll visit the saloon after I'm done polishing the script. Please send them my regards when you visit them.
Of course.
Well, I still have another problem to consider. How should I do the background story? Maybe I can put it online so the audience can read them for free. Oh, hold on. I got it. Need to do it more cleverly. Ah, an idea just hit me, Chairman. I've got to go. Thanks for your help. I still need to work on the frame later, so I'll just put it here for now. I don't think I have winking enabled on my Vroid model. Ayla jumps down the stage in a few steps, dashing out of the theater to her actual studio. Seeing the rabbit-like figure leaving, Alan turns his gaze back to the stage. There was also a girl performing alone on that stage in an empty theater many years ago. The first opera that girl composed premiered on that stage a few years ago. It's been a few years. They stood alone against the tempest with a standing ovation as the backdrop. Her spirit played a recitative on that stage through the magic of theater a few days ago. Another musical might soon premiere on that stage in a few months. This time it will tell the story of another girl's longing.
Wasn't planning to be nostalgic now.
Alan smiles at the stage, his words light and ethereal as if he is whispering to a mysterious spirit beside him who has traveled light years.
Young Selena, when I met her here, I wasn't that mature a writer either, and my comments barely held water. I didn't expect it would inspire her.
For a moment, Alan seems to find himself back in the field of flowers years ago, when he was also like a rabbit, running on the field unrestricted, followed by a gentle guide who watches him with a similar gaze to his now.
Seeds planted unexpectedly have now grown into an ocean of flowers. I wonder what you would think when you see them after you sent me on this path, Mr. Florence.
The end of Song of Flowers, Selena Capriccio Interlude. I have not played the Rectitativo di Fantasia story in its entirety. I've only done the first 2 playthroughs with where we've seen Ayla so far, and they're using the holographic device to look for Selena's song. So the frame there is empty as of right now, but maybe they can upload Selena's consciousness back to it if they're able to find her, and that may happen in the main story. Okay, we made it to the end. Thank you everyone. And of course,
Happy April Fools. Thank you everyone for putting up with me. And thank you for attending my quote.
My re-debut as Selena. Yes, let me turn this off now. I was a little apprehensive of doing this because technically I'm stealing official art, so I could get copyrighted. I shouldn't be mentioning this on stream. Never mind. Nothing happened. You didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anything. Hide the evidence. Hide the evidence.
Okay. Oh yeah, but I'm real tired. Oh. It was a lot of fun though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for watching. Oh. Yeah, yeah. That's it for today, I think. I'm pooped. Oh yeah, toward the last hour, I think the Ayla voice is much harder because it's too energetic. The Ayla is like with the here, let me. Can you guys hear the game volume pretty well? Oh. Like here, let me look up the line. So I wrote someone on the Reddit was nice enough. They did a list of Selena voice lines back in the day. So they have it in the kanji. I can't read kanji, but I had to plug them in a dictionary and get the English, the Romaji readings. So construct joins.
Gokigenyo, watashi wa Serena desu.
And then I just want to say, and then of course I've been saying these are those battle phrases that show up all throughout.
Adagio andante enso kaishi.
That's when the battle starts, and then
Aria no jikan desu.
大鉢を始めましょう.
And of course, the signature, which you hear all the time, especially when you do like guild battles. You hear it so often. You probably hear it like every... You hear it like twice every 30 seconds, maybe more.
私が
This one's really hard to do because she sounds like angry, but in her calm, you know, in the very calm voice.
私がコーダを捧げてあげましょう.
Okay. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing
と
this.
ても長い悪夢を見ていたんです。暗い孤独感に苛まれて
I definitely don't. You guys don't want to hear the original because it doesn't come close. Or do you want to hear it? Let me go into battle 1. This one, because you hear this one all the time. It's so hard to get though.
私がコーダを捧げてあげましょう。
私がコーダを捧げてあげましょう.
Okay. But yes, thank you everyone for tuning in. Happy April Fools. It's not April Fools anymore now. It's April 2nd. Yeah, it's yeah. Another April Fool's over. Yes, thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, happy April 2nd. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm thinking about something. No, I'll let it go. It's April 2nd's it's a special day for me too. But that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I am still aiming for Twitch affiliates, so if you like the stream, hit me with a follow. Turn on notifications. Thank you very much, everyone. So tomorrow night, I don't know tomorrow night. I might be streaming, might be not. But if it is, it's gonna be around this time again. Probably like 10, 11, 12 PST. I stream PGR, and I will be getting back to the Rectitativo di Fantasia story as well. So we're going to try to finish that off. And then we got a new patch coming out in about 8 days, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe a little less now. I think, let's see, 4 days, like 6 days, I think. So I'll be playing more PGR and play PGR regularly. And if I have some other time, I also might do Diablo 3 a little bit. But now that I got my mic finally set up, I definitely want to go through all the PGR story again. I'm quite behind. I got this, I have Evernight Beat, and I have Survival Lucem too. So Survival Lucem, everyone's raving about it. They said people just say it's a masterpiece in storytelling. It's definitely what people say is the highlight of the PGR storytelling heights. It just gets better and better and better. So I've been in love with PGR for a long time, and like here back in chapter 12, Kowloon Metropolis, that was like really great already. And then Fake Ascension was amazing too. Imprisoned Sight, that was great too. Last Spark, that was great too. And then Extra Story, what was it? This Inscription Labyrinth was kind of okay. Here, Echo Aria, this was the original Selena story. National Fruit Ferret Day, oh. That's something I didn't need to know, but thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to not talk for a few hours, or quite a few hours, and get some rest. Thank you, everyone. Maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow then. All right. Happy April Fools. See you guys. Take care. Good night and bye-bye. Yes, thank you everyone. Thank you, Cherry. Thank you, Steffi. Thank you everyone else too. Bye-bye.